Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions with the Minnesota Vikings. And congratulations to Minnesota, because to me, they were pretty much my winners of the injury bowls. They had a lot of injuries, and particularly their two top players went down, being Kirk Cousins with the Achilles, and Justin Jefferson missed most of that season with a hamstring issue. By the time the season was ending, the Vikings pretty much was trotting out players off the street. It was pretty rough for the Vikings, but hey, they were able to get some quality wins this year despite being undermanned, and that kind of showed you that Kevin O'Connell, he might know what he's doing as a head coach. But this year, it's a new era. They got a new quarterback, and hopefully they could find their way back to winning the NFC North. And looking at their schedule, they started off 0-3. And what caused their 0-3 start? Turnovers. They had a lot of turnovers, particularly in the red zone. Even their week 4 win against Carolina, Kirk Cousins threw a 99-yard touchdown pick 6 to start the game. That was very telling. But after that, they got into a 5-game winning streak to get themselves back in postseason contention, beating the Bears, beating the 49ers, beating the Vikings, beating the Falcons, and beating the Saints. Now, beating the Packers came at a cost. That was the game where Kirk Cousins got hurt. He was playing at a high level prior to that. But then the magic just ran out. They lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Bears. While they beat the Raiders 3-0, it felt more like a defeat. Both teams should have gotten losses that day. But after that, they trotted out Nick Mullins, who proceeded to lose to the Bengals and Lions. They tried Jaron Hall, but it was clear as day he wasn't ready to be in the NFL. And they lost to the Lions. What could have been if injuries never took place? But let's talk highlights, shall we? Jordan Addison did have a very solid rookie year, so that's something. Well, most of it did came on the heels that Justin Jefferson was hurt, and Josh Dobbs' version of Fitzmagic. One thing NFL fans love is a Linsanity run, and there was another team that had one. We'll get to them when it's time. But Josh Dobbs, if you don't know, he started his season with the Arizona Cardinals. He only got one win against the Dallas Cowboys. But after Kirk got hurt, he was traded to the Vikings, thrown into a uniform, and basically had to get them a win against Atlanta. And for 2 weeks, the Pastronaut was a media sensation. But like all Linsanity runs, they all come to an end, and he was indeed benched towards the end of the season. But at least the defense improved, so there's that. But let's talk about the lowlights. Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins both going down with injuries. Really devastated the entire season. Especially the Kirk Cousins one. Because when Justin Jefferson went down, the Vikings were finding ways to win without him. And that's what you're supposed to do. Find ways to win games. But when Kirk went down, that took a big load off. I know Viking fans, they have a love-hate relationship for this guy. But in hindsight, it really hurt to see him go down. And then the Nick Mullins experiment, that just didn't work out at all. And now for their additions and subtractions. And for their additions, Aaron Jones, they added him from Green Bay because of course that's what the Vikings do. They love to poach former Packers. They also added Sam Darnold from the 49ers, spending a whole year backing up, starting one game. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, and Jerry Tillery. which last one came from the Raiders. Now, who did they lose? Well, Kirk Cousins is gone. Alexander Madison, he's with the Raiders now. Davenport, he's gone. Danielle Hunter, he's with the Texans. And DJ Wonnum, he's back home with the Carolina Panthers. And at the draft, the biggest headline was their first round, where they took J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan, who I feel like was more of a game manager there than a standout prospect. That's just my opinion. They also added Dallas Turner after seeing him slide out of the top 10. He's basically the Danielle Hunter replacement. They also added Kyrie Jackson, a corner from Oregon. They added a tackle from Oklahoma, and they added a kicker from Alabama. Will Richard is now rolling tide. With the Vikings. So for the Vikings, I'm very curious on how their season is going to go without Kirk Cousins. That's something I got to keep my eye on. The Minnesota Vikings will be another team that will be in rebuild mode. But starting off their schedule, they got the New York Giants on the road. I got them winning this one. But week 2 and 3, I think the 49ers are going to avenge last season's loss to them. If they're healthy, of course. And the Texans, yeah, I got the Texans winning that one on the road as well. But week 4 against the Packers. This one I've got. It's a divisional game. I would say I've gone back and forth this one. But I do think Green Bay is going to win this game. But then week 5 against the Jets, Aaron Rodgers come back to Minnesota. He's going to get a win there. Week 7, Lions will beat them. Week 8 against the Rams. I think this one's going to be a little interesting, but I am going to give this game to the Rams. I do not trust road teams winning on Thursday night that much. But week 9, I do got them winning over the Indianapolis Colts for this game. Week 9 against the Jaguars, I do have Jacksonville winning. Week 10 against the Tennessee Titans, I'm going to give us a win here, week 11. And how about another road win over the Chicago Bears? Week 13, I got them losing to the Cardinals. Week 14, I got them losing to the Falcons. Week 15 and 16, losing to the Bears, losing to the Seahawks. I do have them getting swept by Green Bay this year because probably around this time, Green Bay is making that final push to the playoffs. But I do have their season ending on a high note, getting a win over the Detroit Lions and what possibly be J.J. McCarthy's Michigan homecoming. But all in all, 5-12 for the Vikings is not going to be a good year for this team. They are going to be in rebuild mode. That's one thing I do know. So, who knows what the Vikings would be. They could surprise people, all I'll say. But anyway, tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safely. And I'll see you next time.